I thought that I could make it as a fantasy fashion designer. I have boxes and boxes of gowns that no one wanted, but if I don't let them go, they're gonna get in the way and they're gonna bog me down, and I have to let them go. Definitely going through the emotions on these. Hey Sunspace Sun, I'm Daisy Victoria. I wasn't sure that I was going to do this video. This is kind of an extra I thought I wanted to share. By the way, I am actually starting to move in and my walls are starting to get decorated. So yay, it's not all plain in here. This is actually the only part that's decorated, other than like my thread rack and a couple other things that I had to do. For a long time now, I've been dealing with amassing a lot of stuff, like stuff that I've made primarily. That's the stuff that's really hard for me to get rid of. There's a couple of parts to it really. So if I made something for someone else as a commission, obviously goes right to them, and that was the whole purpose of making it. If I made something that was a sample piece or a portfolio piece to show off my work and try to get custom orders, and then I didn't get any of the orders, it feels like I didn't get a payoff for the item, so there ends up being some sort of baggage attached to it. And furthermore, stuff takes up a lot of room, like a lot of room. And at this point in my life, I've moved a couple of times, I've gotten rid of stuff, I have donated stuff, I have thrown stuff away, depending what it is. I've given stuff to my friends, I've given stuff to theaters, I've sold some stuff. I make things faster than I get rid of them. That's a problem. So I gotta do something about it. So we just recently moved, and in the new place, we're already basically out of space, and my stuff is safe in the garage, but we're supposed to put our cars in the garage and there's not room for them because of all my stuff, and that's a problem. Add to that the fact that I want to make more things, and I feel sometimes creatively blocked because I know that if I make something, I don't have a place to put it. So that kind of brings me to where I'm at. It's really hard to part with your art pieces because your whole heart and soul has gone into these things. And for me, I know that a lot of you guys really like historical clothes, and I have a lot of those because I've done historical events for a long time. I'm in the SCA. That's a place where I get to be anything pre-17th century that I want. And it turns out I want to be a lot of things from the entirety of history pre-17th century. I also have a lot of fantasy gowns and a lot of things that I've designed with the strong intention of having a fashion brand and being a fantasy fashion designer. Unfortunately, a lot of that didn't pan out, and I have a lot of sample pieces that I've gotten stuck with. And it's not so much that I'm stuck with them. Like, I really love them, and I would love to have like a whole building just for them. I could display them on mannequins, I could hang them up, you could like see them. It would be so amazing, right? But I don't have that. And nor am I making the money off of them to pay for storage, which is the other idea, right? To pay for storage. So I've tried some ideas of like using them for photo shoots that actually make money and stuff like that. And once again, just like selling the pieces, there is some payoff, but it's not as much as the cost of the pieces or of storing the pieces. So it's not financially feasible as a model at this time where I'm at. So that brings me to downsizing. How the heck do I downsize? Well, I'm gonna tell you, it's real hard. I had to go through what I've got and figure out what I want to get rid of. I've had things up as sample sales on my website for a long time, and I cycle through them periodically. I add new things. If I get rid of anything, I take it off the sample sale. Back when I lived in LA, I actually donated a bunch of my old stuff, clothing, costumes, and fabric to the Labyrinth of Jareth Masquerade. There's obviously more places that you can donate stuff to. Theaters are an option if if they accept that kind of thing, always you gotta check with them. I didn't want to just unload my art pieces somewhere where I didn't think they would be appreciated. And that's the hardest thing for me, is like, I want them to be appreciated. The place I'm at mentally right now, I feel like if they're not appreciated, I would rather do something to cathartically destroy them so that I get some kind of like, I don't know, it's like a climactic thing out of it. So this time, what I decided to do is actually something that my friend Carol Ann suggested that she's done before, and that is to list a bunch of things on eBay with a $1 starting bid. Now, $1, obviously I had to add shipping, right? Or else I would be just paying someone to take it. So starting at $1 plus shipping, I picked out 10 of my old dresses to list. Now, I knew that they could go for $1, so I made sure to choose 10 things that I was like, I'm okay with it if, you know, not only do I not get my money back on supplies, but it's basically going away. But I know that someone who gets it actually wanted it. Like, they actually chose to bid on it and get it. And honestly, if they went for so low, people could harvest them for materials too. So I picked 10 dresses to go for $1. It's getting a little bit easier after I put up the auctions, and it's been a couple of days. I started getting bids on some stuff. Someone actually bought one of the gowns. I had put a buy it now option on all of them. That's really cool and really exciting. It's still tough because I look at some of the auctions that are at a low price right now and I'm like, wow, that dress could really go for that price, but at least it'll be out of here, right? Okay guys, can I get real with you for a second? This is kind of a sad truth. It costs so much money to make a gown or dress or costume or whatever because of all the materials. It also costs all of my time and equipment and operating costs to create that item. Plus I have to pay taxes on it. So that's 30% of the selling price right to the government. At the prices that these auctions are currently at, and at the prices it seems like people want to pay for these items, it would not be financially feasible for me to make and sell them. Let that truth sink in. Yet, I was trying to do this as my job for the last decade. It has taken me a decade to realize that this is not a feasible option for me. What I am doing now instead is I am creating content like these videos that you see. I'm creating patterns. The truth here, which could be fortunate or unfortunate depending how you choose to look at it, I choose fortunate, is that a couple of the patterns I've released, I have actually done orders on those garments as well. I've made more money selling the patterns than I have making the garments, in all cases where that is a thing. Add to that, there's plenty of other opportunities to make money online. There's YouTube ads, which is pretty low for me. There's Patreon, which is also low, but hey, it's something, right? And there's always other opportunities out there. You have to diversify your income. And that's something I did not understand. And I tried to make money just off of dress commissions, and it didn't happen for me. And I kept pushing it, and I kept amassing dresses, lovely dresses that I love with all of my heart, but I can't keep them all. Letting these dresses go is so, so important. It's more than just getting rid of failed business attempts. It's getting rid of emotional baggage that would hold me back from where I want to go. If I'm holding on to these dresses that I've made before that are frankly no longer my best work nor my current work, I can't make my best and current work because I don't have room for it. But if I do let go of those things, I make room for anything and everything that I want to create in the future. And that is the absolute important take-home message. This is not the last time I will struggle with getting rid of things, but you know what? It's getting a little bit easier, and we have to be kind to ourselves and remember we're all on a journey and we'll get there, and where we are now is okay. And where I am now is getting rid of some more dresses. So we'll see how the eBay auctions go. They go well, I'm hopeful. I may be able to use that method again in the future now that I do have other goals in the business aspect of my artistic life. Thank you guys so much for supporting me throughout all of these endeavors. Buying something is not the only way to support me. You can like the video, you can share it with a friend, you can share any of my other work with your friends too. You can leave comments, you can share things from my other social medias. I'm Daisy Viktoria everywhere, by the way. Also, my website is daisyviktoria.com. There's so many ways to support an artist that in this day and age, you don't have to just buy something from them. If you do want to contribute, I have the patterns and tutorials if there's like a specific project that you want help with. I also have Patreon, where I like to give you guys little consistent extra tips and tricks and updates and stuff like that. Sometimes there's add-ons for an outfit or a project or a pattern too. And that's something I'd like to do a little bit more of. As of now, I've mailed out all the dresses. They're on their way to all their beautiful new homes, ready for new life. And I actually feel so much lighter. It was tough to get rid of them, especially tough to let them go for less than I even paid for the fabrics. But in the end, you can't move forward and grow into who you want to become if you are bogged down by who you once were. I know this is kind of a profound self-help sort of thing, but it really does manifest in your things. Like for me, in my prior projects, in who I once was when I made those projects, and what my goals and aspirations were at that time, that's totally different from who I am now and where I want to go in the future. And letting go of those old projects has already freed up so much space for me to move forward and to become the person and the designer that I want to be. And so for me, this has been such an important growth experience, and thank you so much for allowing me to share it with all of you. If you are not already subscribed, make sure you do that. Hit the notification bell so you see everything I post here. Thank you so much for being with me. I appreciate each and every one of you so much. I hope you have a super magical day, and I'll see you again real soon. Goodbye, dresses. Have fun at your new home.